Hey, this is Gabe. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my clamp rack storage. And that's only a little piece of a 2x3, not even a full 2x4 that I have screwed to the wall. And I have 14 clamps attached to that, and it works out quite well. When I first started woodworking, I could never buy enough clamps, and now that I don't do any of that kind of woodworking anymore, I rarely ever use them. And but it's not just clamp storage I want to talk about, because you do need room for storage, but this little piece of wood works quite well when you space them out the way that I did, to be able to get to alternate in between each different type of clamp. I have 6 different quick grips, 2 irregular 36-inch, the middle two ones with the yellow knobs, those are reversible, and then the 2 on the end near the storage cabinet, those are only 24-inch. But the 36-inch pipe clamps, that's what I want to talk about here. Like I said earlier, when it comes to clamps, what I wanted to talk about were these pipe clamps, and more importantly, these right here. Pipe clamps work great, but you always have to put something in between here to keep from marring your wood. So if you didn't notice in the picture of the clamp on the walls, I had made these little pieces of wood here, just scraps, cut out with the hole saw. And then these have worn off over the years. The glue has failed. I used Gorilla Glue thinking that that was going to work, and it didn't work. So I'm going to show you what I've done to remedy that. I'm going to be using some Gorilla Super Glue, which is a medium to thick viscosity CA glue. So I'm going to spray some accelerator on that right there. Let me slide this over. I'm just going to put a liberal amount here. And then I sort of hit it with the sandpaper so I could know where the surfaces are, where it's going to really bite into that wood. Make sure, oops, that is the wrong side. So this is the side with the accelerator on it. And I'm just gonna hold that for a second. And you can see that that's already bit together on that. And even though I've got the accelerator on there, I'm just going to clamp that together and let it work itself together there. And that is just one little example or one little method of working on some clamps of a simple jig. And this worked really well for me when I was building my entertainment center, because I was using pretty expensive wood when I was clamping pieces together, not to damage it. And I ended up making my own raised panels. So this really helped when I was clamping everything together. A couple of my other favorite clamps that I use are these quick grips. I have two of these. This one has an opening of 12¼ inches. I love these quick grips. These are really handy, great one-handed clamps. And this is a 6¼ inch opening. And I use these 6 inches one all the time when I'm doing segmenting especially. This is another quick grip, and this one's really great. This is adjustable on both sides, has these grooves in here, like a little V-block, also top and bottom and sideways. Has a release mechanism so that locks and stays in place really good. Oh man, these little Rockler 6-inch clamps are pretty awesome. I bought 10 of these way back in the day, and I use them a lot in segmenting and in other things. I've worn all the rubber pads off both sides of these, and a couple of them I've actually gotten full of CA glue, so I need to buy a container of acetone so I can soak in and get rid of all that CA glue, because they're just like stuck and frozen in place. So anyway, these are really great little mini bar clamps. Use these quite often, or used to use them quite often. Another one of my go-to clamps you've seen in my segmenting videos is a spring clamp like this, and I have about 20 of these, no exaggeration. I used to use them for lots of different things, especially when I would do my pen sales at farmers markets. I would use them as hold downs for things around the table, you know, besides just regular woodworking. And in my segmenting videos, you've seen me use these little binder clips quite a bit. I use these as little mini clamps when I'm clamping together all my segmenting blanks. And these really come in really handy, nice and fun and easy to use. And you probably saw this one sitting here. And if you're not familiar with corner clamps, that's what this is. And these are the clamps themselves. And this holds different sizes. You can alternate. Obviously, you're going to use one of these at a time, but it'll hold 2 different sizes like that. And you get the idea how that works. When I was making my crown molding on my entertainment center, I used these, the larger ones especially, like this one here, because it was the easiest method of clamping corners together. And you get these with this tool, and these are 4 of each size. So these things are really invaluable, how these things come together, and I'll show you really quick. Let's pretend this is a mitered box, and you're clamping 2 corners together. If I can grab that. Just grab the small one. There. Now that's clamped together, and because of that angle, there's these are like 90 degree, or not 90, 45s that actually dig into the material, but they don't dig in that far, so you don't have anything to really repair after the fact. To take them out, you just insert the tool again, the correct side for the piece, open it, and there you go. And these things are really handy. I've had this thing for probably like a 2007, and comes in really handy. I've used it even for pen segmenting as well, putting together blanks. Okay, so here we go with this particular clamp here. These things are great, but I modified this right here not that long ago. And if you have to drill something in the drill press or hold something down, you can literally just clamp this to your drill press table and drill here. If you don't have a lathe for a means of drilling, this works really good. Round stock like pipe or wood dowels or anything like that. So a slight modification to a piece. I bought this at a yard sale for $5, so it wasn't a big loss. And being that I have other clamps that I use, this just made this more versatile for me. I still have clamping pressure in front and throughout the whole body here, but this little extra touch gives me a little more flexibility in using this particular clamp in other ways. So it works good. Besides on the drill press, if I have to hold something on my workbench or whatever, I have that added flexibility. So this is a pretty useful tip in my opinion, and for me it has it's worked quite well when I had to use it. So this is pretty cool. And last but not least, sometimes the best clamp isn't a clamp at all. It is just a piece of rope and a stick. And this is my homemade pressure pot. If you haven't seen this before, it's just some black ABS plastic, and it has a pressure relief valve on the end. So I know it's not rated for air pressure, but it only goes up to 32 pounds of pressure before the pressure relief valve kicks in. So anyway, like I was saying, sometimes the best jigs or the best clamps aren't clamps at all. Because of this long design, when I'm trying to unscrew this, after it's been pressurized, this cap is really tight against this, and I'm trying to hold this down, trying to open this up with a pair of channel locks or slip joint pliers, and it doesn't want to hold still. So I literally have to clamp this to the leg of my workbench. Well, you try putting a clamp on something round, doesn't work. So enter the rope, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this is my pressure tank right here. Flat spot I have against the back of this leg. And I have a couple of loops, one here and one there. And it just basically works like a tourniquet. Okay. So we're just going to wind that up. And now that is securely clamped. That's just another method of using rope to clamp oddball shapes, and works very well. You could just use a dowel or whatever. I just used a piece of offcut. So anyway, now I can open that up using a pair of slip joint pliers on top, and that's nice and secure. Before I did this, I struggled for hours trying to get it open, and then a buddy of mine told me about this trick right here, and I've been using it for years ever since. Hey, this is Gabriel Castro. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. You can click on the link right here and subscribe. You can watch a video series right here or the latest video right here.